going on out there, YouTubers? Cyberneticshark here with another new movie review for you. So let's get right into this review, see what I saw. So welcome to an all-new movie review, folks out there in YouTube land, and all my subscribers, and all those good people that watch these reviews. Anyways, so I have put together this awesome review about an all-new movie that just recently came out. This movie's got a lot of slack because it does not star Will Smith or Tommy Lee Jones in it, and it is a sequel and an awesome, already well-known series that was a huge hit since 1997. Now, this awesome film series I absolutely loved, and this new addition to it I thought was a really creative and new way to take it and to expand the universe of this awesome franchise. Now, the movie I'm talking about happens to be the film called Men in Black International. Oh, yeah. So, Men in Black International, like I said, is the fourth film in the awesome MIB series. Now, this awesome film stars a huge and awesome cast and was directed by a really awesome director as well. So, I'd like to start off by talking about the awesome director of this film. Now, the director of this film happens to be Mr. Amazing and Awesome, Mr. F.Gary Gray. Oh, yeah. So F.Gary Gray, you might recognize as a director of a few films over the years. He's a big, awesome director. He's made a lot of great films, and is just a really awesome director. Now, a couple films that he's directed that I really enjoyed were not other than an awesome film that just came out a couple years ago, and is a sequel in an awesome series that has been going on since 2001. And that, of course, is the awesome movie Fast and the Furious 8. Oh, yeah. So Fast 8, or the Fate of the Furious, as it's called, is an awesome, amazing sequel to the awesome Fast and Furious franchise. And F.Gary Gray had the chance of being one of the directors of these awesome films. And I thought he did a fantastic job and kept bringing us this great franchise and keep making it fresh and awesome and just fun. He did a really great job and had a really great eye for action sequences, car chases, and all that kind of stuff, just like Justin Lin or any of the other previous directors have done, that have made some great films, John Singleton, Rob Cohen, and so forth, and they've all done great jobs. And I thought F.Gary did a really awesome job with The Fate of the Furious. Now, the other film that he directed that I really enjoyed was an awesome film that came out back in 2008. It is an awesome thriller film that is pretty much about getting revenge on those that don't get the true justice that they deserve for what crimes they've done. And that, of course, is a film called Law Abiding Citizen. Oh, yeah. So this awesome film stars Gerard Butler and Jamie Foxx. Now, this awesome film is so beautifully directed by F.Gary. He makes such an amazing thriller film, lots of great action sequences, and just a great story. It has a really great idea behind it and, showing what true justice is. Kind of like a revenge film, kind of like Death Sentence and so forth. But at the same time, I thought F.Gary brought a great presence and a great, realness to the film. And just made a really great classic thriller. Great film if you haven't seen it. Definitely give it a whirl if you haven't. Law Abiding Citizen. Perfection of a film, and just really well done, and Gerard Butler kicks butt in it. Now, when it comes to Men in Black International, I thought F.Gary brought a great new look to the MIB. He gave us pretty much the exact same, MIB presence, the alien, how the MIB work, and gave us this new great story with these new type of, basically, alien threat that they have to deal with. And I just thought that this was really well done, and I thought that he did a really good job of giving us this new, fresh look at MIB and giving us a great, new characters to focus on. And I thought that, everyone that was involved with the film did a really good job as well. And, F.Gary did a great job of directing them and making a great film. So this movie has an all-star cast that I think was a great, amazing cast to put into this film, and are just as good powerhouses as Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones were for the first three films. Now, to start us off, we have the awesome and amazing Thor himself, Mr. Chris Hemsworth. Oh, yeah! So Chris Hemsworth, we all recognize, of course, as Thor. We recognize him from a slew of films over the years, kind of cameos. He did a cameo in Vacation. He had a little bigger part in Cabin in the Woods remake. He also was seen in an awesome movie that came out last year, too, as well. Ghostbusters, of course, and so forth. But a couple of films I really enjoyed him in and thought he was fantastic in was none other than an awesome film that came out a couple of years ago that's directed by Ron Howard. And I think this is a really well done film and just is a really great classic and awesome retelling of the real Moby Dick story. And that, of course, is the film called In the Heart of the Sea. Oh, yeah. So this film was visually beautiful. I mean, this movie was awesome, and I loved Chris Hemsworth as the character he played as the first mate of the, unfortunate ship that Moby Dick is based off of. And this, unfortunately, happens back in the 1600s. This ship was a whaling ship that, unfortunately, had a rogue sperm whale attack it and destroy it. And this is pretty much what the real story is. And Chris Hemsworth plays the first mate of that boat that happened. And he basically is telling the story of what he did to survive, basically. And it's just a really well done film. And Chris was really awesome in it. I thought he did a great job. And I thought he worked very well with everyone else in the film, from Cillian Murphy to Tom Holland. They all worked really well together. And it just was a really awesome, great film that Chris was involved with. Now, the other film that I really enjoyed that he was in is, of course, the awesome and third film in the awesome Thor series. And then, of course, is the awesome film called Thor Ragnarok. Oh, yeah. Absolutely love Thor Ragnarok. Definitely the best of the series. And Chris, I love where he takes Thor in this one. The comedic element, the action, just the look. He looks so much awesomer as he does in this one. He just makes such a great, awesome new approach to Thor and brings Thor back to life and kind of reinvigorates who Thor is. And I thought that he did a really good job of bringing that character from where it started in the 2011 Thor to this Thor. And I thought he did a really fantastic job. Really great film. If you haven't seen Thor Ragnarok yet, definitely check it out, people. It's worth the watch. Now, it comes to in Men in Black International, I absolutely loved Chris Hemsworth's character in this. It was very similar to how his Thor is in Avengers Endgame. And just the kind of presence that he brings to the character. And I thought this was a really great new acting addition for Chris Hemsworth. And he just did a really fantastic job. I thought he was as high caliber as how Will Smith is in the first 3 films. I thought he did a really fantastic job. And I really enjoyed his performance in the film. Really well done. Worth if you're a Chris Hemsworth fan. That brings me to the next person on my awesome roster of this film. Now, the second person I'm going to be talking about is, of course, the other lead actor in this film, or actress, I should say, that I think is a really fun actress. She's already worked with Chris in another film, a couple films actually, and I think that she was actually a pretty good addition to the film and was just really fun to watch. And that, of course, is Miss Tessa Thompson. Oh, yeah. So Tessa Thompson you might recognize from a few other films over the years. You might recognize her from Creed 2. You might recognize her from some TV shows and so forth. But a couple of films I really enjoyed her in and thought she was good in were none other than an awesome remake film that came out back, I believe, in 2005 or 2006. And is an awesome remake of a horror classic that came back out in the 70s. And this film is just a really good rendition of a remake for this horror film. And that, of course, is a film called When a Stranger Calls Back. Oh, yeah. When a Stranger Calls Back. So this awesome remake of the original Carol Kane film back from the 70s is a really done remake. And I thought that Tessa Thompson's character was really fun in it. Now, I didn't recall who she was when I first saw the film at the time, because she really wasn't a big name. But now that I know who she really is and how she's become kind of a bigger name, and rewatching that film, she actually wasn't too bad in the film, and I thought that she was a good comparison to Camille's character in the film. And I thought that she was really good at the small part that she does have in the film, and works really well with everyone. It was a really decent role, and I really enjoyed her in it. Now, that brings me to the second film that Tessa Thompson was that I really enjoyed. Now, this film, of course, is the first film of a new sequel that revolves around the character of Rocky Balboa. And Sylvester Stallone, of course, we all know, has, made tons of Rocky films, and that they kind of went in another direction with a different storyline of characters, but still involves Rocky Balboa. And that, of course, is the awesome film called Creed. Oh, yeah. So Creed, of course, is an awesome film that's about the Rocky Balboa universe, but is centered on the son of Apollo Creed. And in this film, Tessa Thompson plays the love interest of Apollo Creed's son. And I thought that she was really good in it. I really enjoyed her character. She brought a great like realness and presence to the character and worked really well off of Michael B. Jordan, and just was a really great just addition to that film and made it very enjoyable. Really enjoyed her performance in that, and if you haven't seen Creed yet, definitely check that one out too, people. It's worth the watch. Now, it comes to Tessa's performance in Men in Black International. I thought it was pretty decent and pretty fun. I thought she worked really well with Chris again, and I thought that she was a decent addition to the film. She definitely wasn't my favorite character, but was really fun in the film still, and enjoyable to watch, and was definitely a great compliment to Chris Hemsworth's character in the film. So that brings me to the third actor that's in this awesome film, that's a newcomer to this awesome series. Now, this actor, of course, we know from many things over the years, from Rob Roy to films such as Cold Pursuit or The Commuter or the Taken series. And this guy is just an amazing, awesome actor, great at action films, but also just great at films itself. And that, of course, is Mr. Liam Neeson. Oh yeah! Love Liam Neeson. He's so awesome, so amazing, so stupendous. He's one of my favorite actors. I absolutely love this guy. But when it comes to Liam Neeson, he just is awesome anyways. And I think even if he wasn't an actor, I still think he would be popular in some kind of demand. Like even if he was a musician or if he was just like some celebrity like type person that was made famous because he did something, something like that. But he really is just awesome, and I love watching him and everything. Now, a couple of films I really enjoyed him and thought he was fantastic in was none other than an awesome film that came out in 2014 that is an awesome hijacking film that takes place all in an airplane. And that, of course, is the film called NonStop. Oh, yeah. So NonStop is very similar to The Commuter, and I think is a little better of a film, but still a great film. And I love the addition of Julianne Moore in the film and everyone that was involved in the film. And they just made a really fun and awesome action-packed thriller film. And Liam Neeson was just so awesome in it. And I loved his character. I love how he had to try to figure out everything on the go and try to keep people to think, oh, I'm actually a good person. I'm not really, this bad guy that everyone's trying to portray me as. I'm trying to help everyone. And it just was a really great performance by Liam. Really awesome. Very similar, I feel, to Taken as well. His performance, he just was really awesome in the film series. And awesome in this film. So if you haven't seen NonStop, definitely give it a whirl, people, especially if you love Liam Neeson. This movie rocks. So another awesome film that I'd like to talk about Liam Neeson was in that I really enjoyed was this awesome film that came out a few years back that I don't think is really known, has gotten a lot of credit for how good of a thriller film it was as well. And this movie I just think was an awesome kind of idea where basically this guy is like hired to do an evil deed and then loses his memory and forgets who he is and has to try to refigure out why he's there, what he's doing, and kind of has a change of heart from who he was. And I think this was a really awesome concept. And that, of course, is the film called Unknown. Oh, yeah. So Unknown, like I said, is just an amazing thriller type of film. Lots of great action, lots of great dialogue, lots of great cool mysteries going on throughout the film, and it keeps you guessing to the end. And I think that it was just a really superb film that Liam Neeson doesn't get enough credit for how good of a film it was, and just how amazing of a film it was. Really action-packed and fun. If you haven't seen Unknown, definitely give it a whirl, people. It's worth the watch. Really awesome, and Liam Neeson is awesome in it. But when it comes to his character in Men in Black International, I absolutely loved his character. I thought it was such an amazing character, absolutely loved where he took it, what he was all involved with, and just, I thought was superb casting and great character. Definitely looking forward to hopefully him popping back up in the series, but awesome just performance by Liam Neeson. Really enjoyed it, and really great addition to that film. So this brings me to the last actor I like to talk about that's in this film. Now this guy, he's a comedian. He's been around for a few years. He's becoming huge and popular. He really became big a couple years ago when he was a part of the film The Big Sick. But I feel that over the years he's had some great cameos, small parts in films that he just is a really great comedian and is fun to watch. And that, of course, is Mr. Kumail Nanjiani. Oh yeah. Absolutely love Kumail, and he actually plays a character in the film called Pawnee. He does the voiceover of the character, and I absolutely fell in love with Pawnee because he's so damn cute, but at the same time he's so freaking hilarious. This character was probably the best part of the whole film because he just had some of the greatest one-liners. And Kamal did an amazing job with the character. Really funny and really awesome. Now, a couple of films I really liked that Kamal was in was none other than an awesome film that came out a couple years ago that I think is a really fun comedy film that didn't get enough credit. And Ice Cube, Charlie Day, Tracy Morgan were all in the film. They were all so awesome in this film. And that, of course, is the film called Fist Fight. Oh, yeah. So Fist Fight basically is about these teachers in the school, and Ice Cube and Charlie Day are teachers, and basically they get in confrontation, and they're supposed to have a fight after school, and through the whole movie, Charlie Day is trying to figure out a way to get out of it. And Kamal Nanjiani plays the security guard at the high school. And he is absolutely hilarious in that role. Because, like, anytime he has to try to get involved in something, he's like, well, technically I'm off the clock and stuff like that. It's absolutely stupendously stupid and fun role that he does so well. Amazingly funny and a great job by Kamal in that film, and just a really great pleasure to the film. One of the best parts of that film as well. If you haven't seen Fist Fight, give it a chance, people. It's worth the watch. So that brings me to this second film Kamal was in that I really enjoyed him in. And that, of course, is an awesome sequel film that I think is a great comedy sequel to the original one. Now, this one came out a few years ago, I think probably about now 4 or 5 years ago. And this awesome, sequel comedy was really fun. Pretty much majority of the characters came back from the first one, minus one of the main characters. But kind of got, kind of had a few other new people come in and add to the great comediness of it. And it's just a really fun, awesome sequel. And that, of course, is the film called Hot Tub Time Machine 2. Oh, yeah. I absolutely love this film. I think it's super funny, super hilarious. I think it's a classic and amazing. I think it's very well done, and I absolutely loved Kamal Nanjiani's character in this film, and I just thought that his creativity of his, improv was so perfect in this film and so well done, and just was a great compliment to the movie. And just, he did a really great job. Even though it wasn't a huge part, he still did a really fun job, made it funny, and made it very enjoyable. If you haven't seen Hot Tub Time Machine 2, definitely check it out for Kamal's awesome performance in the film. It's really funny and really classic. Now, like I was saying before, Pawnee is my favorite character, and Kamal did a bang-up job. He was so awesome in this film, so amazing, and just a great addition to this film. And I don't see this film being as good without that character or Kamal's great performance. If you love Kamal at all, definitely check out Men in Black International for his performance. He was so good, so awesome, and did a phenomenal job. So if you're not familiar with what Men in Black International was about, basically the premise of the film is this one takes place over in London. And what happens basically is Tessa Thompson's character sees a Men in Black incident and doesn't get, blinky rayed and loses her memory, but her parents do, and she ends up spending the next 20 years trying to find Men in Black. And so she ends up finding Men in Black and gets sent over to be an agent, but on probation over in London. And she ends up getting stuck with Chris Hemsworth, Liam Neeson's character, and they basically have to stop this alien race from trying to take over the world. And it's just a really awesome and great new Men in Black edition. And it's just really fun, really awesome. Lots of great action, lots of great one-liners, and everyone that's involved did an amazing bang-up job. Really well done. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely go check it out in theaters, people. It's worth the watch. So that's it for this movie review, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Also, thank you for subscribing. And if it's your first time here, if you have been here before and you haven't hit that subscribe button, what are you waiting for? A grand invitation? Hit that subscribe button, people, so you don't miss this awesome video or any awesome videos I put. And as always, people, keep your eyes out for any older, newer videos you might not have seen mine yet. And as always, people, check out the awesome Stardust app, where you can watch 3 to 30-second little mini reviews for free. And also on this free app where you can do polls and contests and all kinds of cool stuff. So that's something to shoot. Go ahead and download that. Look for me under the Cybernetic 13. Follow me, and I'll follow you back. And as always, people, check out the awesome horror pack. Links down below. You get a discount on your first month if you hit my link. And also, it's just an awesome thing, people. You should definitely check it out. Yeah. And as always, people, catch you next one.